Okay, the earth signs. Okay, so I briefly want to maybe perhaps do this for all of the different elements. And I want to start with talking about how they're similar and how they're different, especially if you're someone who has earth in your chart, but you have different earth signs in your chart. So maybe you're a Virgo sun with a Capricorn moon, or you're a Taurus sun with a Capricorn rising, or something of that nature. I'm obviously a Virgo rising, Virgo sun. As far as Taurus goes, I have North Node and Midheaven in Taurus, and I have Neptune in Capricorn. So that's basically it. Neptune in Capricorn is not. Now, I know the influence of it, but is it something that is on my everyday radar? Not necessarily. It's not like my sun or my moon or my Mercury. So let's talk. So I'm looking up because I actually did a blog post a couple years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, on the elements and how they interact with each other. So if I'm looking at my blog. So Earth is grounded and practical. Earth signs are rooted in reality, right? So when you're thinking of Earth signs, you're thinking of what is the outcome? What is produced? What are we getting here? What are we going to have at the end of this? What can I physically see? I need evidence. I need proof. I need a general outcome. I need to see whatever it is manifest in front of my eyes. I am not, for Earth, we're not dealing with feelings and emotions. Don't get stuck on those. Ideas, okay, but ideas don't take form. Now, again, ideas can give you the form. I'm not saying it's not, but this is what the Earth by itself, I'm not talking about a birth chart right now. This is what Earth is. Earth is, this needs to be done. I need to see this. Okay, you have an idea, but what is it? What does it look like? I need to see it. Fire. You're thinking about fire, which is action, passion, direction, motivation. I see this as well, right? But Earth is still like, great, what's the outcome? So Earth signs they have appreciation for the way things are done. If you ever listen to how Earth sign gives compliments, sometimes the Earth sign is not gushing over what you look like or what you appear like, what your personality. Earth signs are looking at what you did. Wow, that was great the way you did that, especially like a Virgo type of person. And Capricorn can maybe appreciate someone's achievements. And Taurus appreciates someone's ability to really stick to who they are, right? Taurus really appreciates the ability to look at things in like a really foundational way, right? Wow, yeah, he started that website, yeah, right? That is what we're talking about with Earth. Earth's appreciation for what do we have? What is this? Now, we can, again, we're not talking about birth charts right now. So of course we can be like, but wait, I have a Sag moon and I have a Leo Mercury and I have this and I have that. But we're just talking about Earth because I feel like if we break this down, this can help people who are trying to understand like how do all these work together or differently. Now, realistic things are what Earth cares about. What is likely to happen? What can happen? What is possible? What do we already have? The Taurus energy, what do we already have? Virgo, what are we trying to create? What are we trying to improve here? What are we trying to get here? I'm going to analyze it, right? What are we trying to get to? What are we trying to do? Like, what is this going to look like? Capricorn, what are we trying to achieve? What is the big goal? Like, what are we, so very different, but Earth nonetheless. So Earth signs sometimes have an appreciation for each other. Earth signs have a very big appreciation for each other. I can look at a Taurus and Capricorn and see, wow, they're what they did what they were supposed to do. As an Earth sign, there's a lot of just like, can you just do what you're supposed to do? That earns my respect a lot more than any of the frills that other people have. Like, oh my gosh, you're such a great person. I'm like, okay, did they do what they said they were going to do? Like anytime someone does something they said they are going to do, I'm surprised. And I don't know if that's a Virgo thing as much as it maybe is the skepticism, the Scorpio in the third house energies that sometimes can be kind of skeptical. And so there's an appreciation for, did you do what you say you were going to do? So if you're dealing with an earth sign person, understand that they need to see that you're doing what you said you were going to do. Now, how are they with each other? What's the difference here? So, okay, so we could start with Taurus. Taurus is foundational earth. So we're dealing with building things up from the ground. Now, when you build something, it takes a long time. Venus rules Taurus. So Taurus is not moving as fast as maybe Virgo, and it's not going to be as entrepreneurial as Capricorn, because the point of the Taurus energy and symbolically is I'm building something. I'm taking my time so that I know what I have. Taurus, resources. Earth, resources. So you think of it like, I need to see what I have first. No, I'm not rushing if I'm Taurus, because I need to see what I have. What do I have in front of me in order to create whatever you want me to create? So sometimes people's gripe with Taurus is like, they don't move fast enough, right? They're trying to figure things out. What do they have, right? And so sometimes that can seem like Taurus doesn't have urgency, right? And I think this can sometimes cause an issue. Virgo can sometimes dislike what it takes, how long it takes Taurus to figure something out or to make a move. But Taurus can look at Virgo like, well, your need for details, like, we're not even here right now. Can we just make sure this thing is here, right? Don't complicate it. That's what Scorpio, my opposite sign, does, right? That's what Taurus says. Don't complicate it. This is what we need. Simplistic, authentic. This is something that is real. But if we look at it symbolically, the next earth sign perfects whatever Taurus did. So Taurus kind of starts it. Taurus energy is great for being the foundation to things. I feel like there's several signs that I feel are underestimated. And I can say that's Taurus, I feel it's Virgo, I feel it's Pisces, I feel it's Libra. For different reasons, I feel they are underestimated. I'm not going to go into all that right now. But with Taurus, there's a beauty in what they're doing. So they're taking their time because there's this kind of need to really feel things out. Okay? Indulge in what they have. And then they're going to be able to create something and give you something. So rushing a Taurus individual is not a good idea, because you're typically not going to get the same quality than if you were to let them be. Now, this doesn't mean that they should be late with deadlines or late in general, but because we underestimate that. And also, Taurus is really good with routine. But anytime you'll see a Taurus that sometimes doesn't rise to the occasion, you've disrupted their routine. You've disrupted the Venus relaxation period. You've done something to the Taurus. So when Taurus starts to be unpredictable, you've done something. You've stirred them up. There's something. It's like if a bear is hibernating because it's going to, be better off when it comes out, and you've just stirred it up and now it's mad, right? So that's what we can think about with Taurus, is this beauty in being the foundation. It doesn't mean everything is sophisticated, sophistication can be linked to Taurus, because I think Taurus people can have really good taste and refinement, because Venus rules Taurus. So a lot of times people don't understand that aspect of Taurus is like, this ability to have really good, they're really good at picking things out, seeing the value in things, because Venus is also associated with value. So sometimes I feel like, people don't respect that aspect of Taurus, that ability to be the foundation. They're the first stopping point. They've created what you're using. You might have made it better, or you might have taken it to the next point, but they have the blueprint for how it was even made in the first place. All the earth signs are dealing with, by the way, symbolically, the feminine aspect of seeds, creating something, like taking something and you know what I mean? Creating something and building or birthing something else. That is the earth sign quality. All right. You can look at it symbolically as fire plants the seed, and earth takes it in and somehow figures out a way to make it something that is going to populate or bloom. All right, Virgo. Okay, obviously, Virgo's ruled by Mercury, so Virgo is dealing with the details of things. Virgo is very about the specifics. So now I went from Taurus, and now I'm going to Virgo. Virgo energy is much about effectiveness. Does this work? How are we going to do that? And people can get annoyed by Virgo's questions, but Virgo's really trying to understand Earth. Is this sustainable? They're asking a question to you because they want to know, can this actually survive? Is this long-standing? And sometimes people get frustrated, especially like a fire sign. I got fire, I get it. You're asking questions. Imagine, and the interesting thing is when you forget just the outside world, when you have this energy in you, earth and fire, and you're trying to figure out how to merge it, it's possible. But sometimes it's like fire just wants to do it, but earth is like, oh, no, wait. Did you think about this? Did you think about that? And that sometimes creates a conflict either externally or internally, right? Because Virgo, if you think about Virgo symbolically, it is about, if we can go back to the myths and like harvesting something, right? So that way it can become something else. But in order for me to harvest something, I have to actually be intricate in how I'm handling this. So with Virgo, it's a delicacy about the information they get. Let me process this, and then I'm going to hand it off and say, is this even possible to work? So when Virgo tends, again, this is not about share your experience. I'm not at all silencing people. Your mama, your daddy, your ex who's a Virgo, oh, they did this and that. I'm talking about the energy of it, okay? And if you want to understand those individuals better, you can see this through here. So Virgo is about efficiency. Now, can some Virgos take it to the extreme? For sure. Any sign can take something to the extreme if they are not balanced in their chart, if they are not using the strengths of their chart, if they're teetering too much to a side, for sure, it can come off that way. Now, Virgo, I'm just going to see, because I did some comparisons in my blog. Yeah, I'll talk about Capricorn in a second. So Virgo is, it's about looking at something. And also Virgos can be really good at knowing what you need on a practical level. Now, what I mean by that is this. Virgo has to think things out. It's a very mental sign. So they have to think, they have to know what to expect. Similar to the routine, but Taurus can be more that routine aspect. Virgo can be good with routine, but Virgo is more like, I need to mentally know what to expect. So a Virgo can give you practical help. Hey, I'm dealing with a situation. Here's a bunch of resources. Or I can help you. There's somebody I know that does that. Or, hey, I'm going to give you a lot of information. Like Virgo's really good at giving you information to help you. Now, or would I say Virgos are the sign that's going to run in the middle of the night to your house to comfort you? Probably not, maybe, if they have other placements in the chart. Because Virgo's about efficiency. And if something doesn't really seem to make sense, they usually won't do it. But I think the underestimated part of Virgo is the sign of help is what they are known for, and service. And when we get caught up in stereotypes, you miss the actual benefit of each sign, right? So when you stop looking at Virgo as just nagging you about details, and you start to look at what Virgo is trying to accomplish with improving something, with helping you through improving something, then you're going to see the benefit of the sign, okay? But Virgo sometimes can get frustrated, I think, with Taurus, again, I said before, and with Capricorn, because Capricorn has a big vision. I want this. And Capricorn can be really, really, successful with doing those things. Because Capricorn cares more about that success level than maybe Virgo or Taurus does. But sometimes Virgo can get frustrated. They understand the vision, but they get frustrated when there's something they think could make it better. But Capricorn's like, no, I got this. But Virgo's like, wait, you could do this little thing here and it would be great. And so that's sometimes where Virgo and Capricorn can sometimes get into a situation, because being earth sign doesn't mean it's perfect. It means I understand you. When Capricorns do something, I get it. I'm like, oh yeah, of course they did it that way. When Taurus does something, I get it. So even if I kind of disagree, now again, we're talking about like average things, right? But I'm saying like, I understand the way they move. I understand what they like or what they appreciate, because I'm also an earth sign, right? And so we understand that sometimes you do have to divorce emotional reactions to things in order to see what's actually in front of you. Hey, the reality of the situation is this. You can feel whatever way you want to feel, but this is the reality. I feel that way sometimes with the whole voting thing, You can feel whatever you want to feel. You could prefer whatever you want to prefer. You can, you can pretend that whoever you vote for is going to be, the person that you go home to at night, and you care that like you have to like have that perfect candidate. You can do that. But the reality is this is what we have to deal with. And you can make a choice. You cannot make a choice. That's your business. But that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of like that energy of like, yeah, feel that way, but we got to do this. But sometimes we can get caught up in like not looking at someone's feelings in a situation, and we just want to get something done or accomplished or check that task mark. We have to be careful as earth signs. Capricorn, enterprise. Yes. Okay. Saturn rules Capricorn. So a lot of times people forget Capricorn is a feminine sign. So a lot of times we'll look at the fact that Capricorn deals with ambition and success, and people assume masculine sign. It's not. All of the earth signs are feminine. Now, what we can look at is the fact that Capricorn's sense of femininity is a different side of it. It's not the soft side of femininity. It's the side of femininity that actually wants to achieve something, right? Even if you think of it symbolically, there's a goal there, right? Even if you were to look at the birthing process, if you were to look at that, you could do that. You could say Taurus is like the builder, right? Virgo nourishes health, nourishes, a baby in the womb. And Capricorn brings the child into the world. So you could look at it symbolically like that and say, that's Capricorn's kind of femininity. It's not this passive femininity energy of just being low key and just being submissive. Like, we have to look at the fact that masculinity and femininity and the way it's been taught it's a way to separate this and say, you can't have any of these features if you're this, and you can't have any of this. And that's not really, when we look at, symbolism, that's not what it means. So Capricorn is a feminine sign, but I think it's more of the different part of the feminine sign, right? It's where we're now getting to the point where something is being brought to fruition. This idea that we planted is now coming through. Capricorn is able to cut, I think, more than Virgo can be very service oriented, and Taurus can be very loyal. But I think with Capricorn, what we're dealing with now is Capricorn's sense of, I can cut all that off in order to get to the main point that I need to get to. This point where I feel that I'm successful. This point where I feel like everything I've worked for. So that's the thing with the earth sign. Capricorn works in a way in which it's achieving something in particular, not building like Taurus, and not just refining something and fine-tuning it and sewing it up and looking at it and analyzing and pointing to X, Y, and Z. And what does this mean? All of those are important phases in the earth sign cycle. They're very important. So it's not about, oh, you're more successful, so you're better than these signs. And that's why you have to get rid of this ego astrology stuff. Get rid of it, because it doesn't help you. If I want to be successful and I'm Capricorn, but I don't look at the major details, or I don't listen to Virgo, or if I'm a Capricorn and I have a Virgo moon and I don't acknowledge that Virgo need to analyze something, well, now I'm missing something that is needed. All these signs are needed, which is why I hate when people, I can't stand a sign. Okay, well, you can't manifest anything then that relates to that sign. Bye. Like, you're not going to be able to. Capricorn likes things as a testament to how hard they worked. Like Taurus, it's more so, Taurus is, I want to look at the resources I use to build that. I'm resourceful. I'm proud of myself. Taurus is proud of themselves because they're resourceful. They use what they have, which is why sometimes people can view like, oh, Taurus might brag a little bit about what they have. Venus can cause that a little bit, but the difference is Taurus is always going to point you how they got it, though. It's not like some of these other signs that spend, or have things. It's like Taurus can always walk you through how they got there, because they start from the bottom. They're not shooting up here at first. They have to really build themselves up and build their skill. I think of them as almost like the 8 of Pentacles in tarot. Skill building. You're building up slowly, right? Virgo's satisfaction is proud of the small things. Wow, that one thing I caught saved the day, right? Or, wow, I noticed something other people didn't notice, and that caused something to be better than what it would have been. And with Capricorn, it's like, I have done all of these things. Saturn rules Capricorn, so we're dealing with harsh energy, karmic energy. And when you're put in a karmic situation in general, there's a lesson being learned. There's a lesson being pushed at you. And it seems really difficult at first, but that's why Capricorn is really good with staying the course, right? Capricorn is really good at like cutting off that kind of emotional dependency to get to the point where they want to get to. The Capricorn is not just this cutthroat. I want us to understand that Capricorn is related to also providing, right? And so material goods to, not material goods, but you know what I mean? Like they can provide for their family on a more material level, whereas Cancer, their opposite sign, is more that emotional devotion. And Capricorn deals with tradition. And when you come to tradition, you have to care about what actually is tied to that tradition. So Capricorn can be associated with family and looking at family in a way in which you are trying to have everyone kind of enjoy the fruits of your labor. But again, Capricorn is much better as the mentor. They're very parental. So Capricorn isn't going to always be like, hey, it's not always going to give you things just because you're their child or their partner. Sometimes, because some Capricorns like taking care of other people, especially if they don't want other people to kind of come up above them. But I think sometimes Capricorn, especially as parents, can they want their child to work for it. You're going to work for this. I have this, you don't have this, I'm letting you use this, that type of parent. And again, it's not a video about parents, but it's more so just about the way in which Capricorn looks at helping other people. It usually is this kind of tough love approach, right? They're not going to hand you the keys to the kingdom. You got to work for the kingdom like they did. And Virgo is going to help you through being very practical. And Taurus can help you by just being really dependable and loyal. You might not like the way in which certain signs do certain things, but for the most part, there's a tendency there. And with Earth, it's always about being rooted in reality and what you can depend on. They're going to come through. Okay, you're mad because Taurus took too long to answer your call, and Virgo is nagging you about something you said you were going to do, and Capricorn is, oh man, they're just, all they care about is being successful, or all they care that, they have more of a hard line in what they think, and they're not budging because Capricorn has a bigger goal that is probably in their mind more important than your trivial feelings. Or you're not focused enough for me, so I'm Capricorn, I'm leaving. Or listen, what are we doing here? Capricorn needs to know, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? What are we going to get in the end? And it's not always just about money or status. I don't want to overly saturate Capricorn with that, because Capricorn is also about literally personal satisfaction. Being able to be a person that kind of stays the course, even when things are difficult and tough. And yes, everyone has emotions, even earth signs. So this isn't about, oh, they're not emotional, but it's like, that's just not the core in which a earth sign is coming from, right? And so altogether, all of the earth signs are kind of showing the same dedication to the product, to the physical world. Now, again, that can get kind of dicey when you have water placements, or you have certain signs that are more emotional or spiritual or passionate, and that combines your air and your water and your fire sign. But in general, this is what we have going on with earth signs. Just a quick dirty for you guys, especially since sometimes some of us have these placements in our chart, or we know somebody who does, and we're trying to figure out how are the earth signs different and how are they the same.